big week. I mean, I had to take a call this weekend on Memorial Day because something big was about to break. I'll let you break it.
Yeah, so I think you and I both talked to the president, Mick, at Cloudera, and it was a big news. That's essentially that Cloudera is going private, being acquired by KKR and CD&E for $5.3 billion. That's about a 25% adder to what the stock was currently trading at. And I think it's a great thing. And let me tell you why. Strategically, so first off, Cloudera invented the whole concept of big data with Hadoop. Now, they've fully grown up off of Hadoop. They're not married to it. We've got Spark, and they're the first company that had a full end-to-end data lifecycle product. First came out on-prem. And then what we saw in the last 18 months was they brought out CDP private, and that's the private cloud version of this, and CDP public, which essentially means you can manage your data holistically, whether it's on AWS, Azure, or Google Cloud. And the only thing that they hadn't hit yet, and by the way, even though CDP is relatively new, they weren't offering a SaaS product, and there were so many comparisons, right, to a Snowflake as an example that is cloud only. So what this go private move is going to enable is for the ability to pull in the pits for a little bit and build out their SaaS property. And they made two acquisitions. One was Data Coral and the other one was Khazana, that are two very young, high-flying companies that enable them to get, I wouldn't say immediately into an enterprise SaaS play, but gives them some key building blocks to get there. And quite frankly, I don't think that Wall Street would have enough patience with them to give them enough time to build this out. Because I think Wall Street was kind of thinking, hey, we gave you guys patience to get into the public cloud, right? And then even though they just finished that build out about 3 months ago, they would likely have run out of patience. And the key to enterprise SaaS, and the reason why that's so important to Cloudera in particular, is does two things. First of all, it enables a much larger SAM, or the addressable target market, in that you can go to smaller companies who don't have data scientists, who don't have DBAs, right? Who want the driving to be left to somebody else. And the other thing it does is it takes it to new types of users inside of any type of enterprise, not just a data scientist or a complete data jockey. How about somebody in the department that has to do something with data, make decisions based on that data, or put together presentations for executives who can make decisions off of that data. So it expands their addressable market in two ways, and I can't wait to see what they do. It's not going to be easy. It's going to be hard, but listen, they're executing, and there's a lot to say for execution out there. And what doesn't get talked about a lot is Cloudera has exabytes of data with the Fortune 500 already under management inside of Cloudera.
Yeah, absolutely. You covered a lot there, Pat. I spent a little time talking to some different reporters on Tuesday when the news broke, and I kind of had the same story as you. I basically said the company needs runway. Wall Street is not going to be patient with the transformation that Cloudera needs to make. Cloudera needs to move to a more Snowflake-like model for adoption. Again, the hybrid thing works. It doesn't have to be pure cloud, but the acquisitions it's making makes it more SaaS-like, easier to adopt, more low code, which is part of this acquisition as well. What can as Satya Nadella kind of called a creator do in the data world, to be able to say, okay, I'm going to use tools from Cloudera And I'm going to be able to use them because I understand the business, not because I'm a machine learning scientist. And that was the big thing I really took away. But Pat, I see a little EMC-esque here in the sense of what Michael Dell did when he went private. I won't give this the same credence as a company the size of Dell, but what I will say is there was something very strategic about giving it some runway, some time to identify its strengths, get its story together, grow its customer base, improve its margins, grow revenue, come back public again. I would be very surprised if that isn't in the cards and that we won't see Cloudera's ticker once again on an exchange in the next few years. But I would say very reasonably 2 or 3 years before anything like that would be likely to happen. So that's my story.
Yeah, I mean, there was a go shop period too here. And, there are cloud native companies out there, huge ones that need data on-prem. Google Cloud is one of them. Google Cloud is cloud native, and they're not managing much data at all on-prem. And I think I'm expecting Google Cloud to be kicking the tires.
I was asked about that. I would say the group at KKR and is it CSMK would have been very confident that this deal will go through before putting a shop deal into it. But at the same time, everybody now knows, the market all knows. But are there really secrets? Is it really a secret? I mean, there had been a few times, like I said, I saw the action on the Cloudera ticker happen on Friday after hours. I didn't know what it was, but it went up a bunch, and I saw it moving after hours, and I'm like, what's going on here? I thought they might be acquired. I thought they might be getting acquired. And then when I got the call about meeting, I'm like, oh, maybe I'm going to hear about it. Them being acquired. So big news, big week for Cloudera.